In the previous video of Mr. Ravichandran regarding the Ambedkar statue's desecration and the false cases on Telangana students and the reservation issues, all raised by the anti-reservation protagonists, the government has failed to prevent the Ambedkar statue's desecration. Unfortunately, 48 hours before also, the statues have been damaged. The fashion is being spread from coastal Andhra districts towards the metropolitan cities of Hyderabad, wherein 48 hours before Ambedkar statue was damaged at Vanasthalipuram. Unfortunately, the police and the government, the state, which is taking this issue as a non-serious issue by showing scavengers, by showing petty thieves as the miscreants, which is completely false. Government is not caring about the majority of population, which is the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and backwards classes, and not standing behind them. If the government disowns these people, then the government has to fall someday. After 15 days of hideout, after we have given the Ambedkar Bandh regarding the statues which have been damaged, Osmania University Joint Action Committee has given a Bandh call, which was successful by all political parties and non-political organizations giving a support. Unfortunately, there were many incidents which took place in and around the campus, and the government has accused, including me and few other student leaders, with false cases of attempt to murder, Section 307 and PDPP Act, which is destruction of public property, and also damage of statue of Rajiv Gandhi, which has been done by people outside Osmania University. But the police department has kept cases on us, naming us accused 1, 2 and 3. And after 15 days of hideout, because these are false cases and we do not afford to take bails and pay amount for these cases, finally I prefer to talk to all the student community and all the people, because in a couple of hours I am going to surrender, and probably I'll be remanded either to Cherlapalli and Chanchalguda jail. I would just want all the students to know, if the government is putting such kind of cases and sending us precedingly towards jail, are they making us habitual offenders? Just last month I've been to Cherlapalli jail for an 8-day visit for just taking out a Hyderabad 10K run, which was democratic, by 400 people, 400 students, which we have successfully and peacefully done, a demonstration for a Telangana separate statehood, where I was picked up by task force personnel and framing false cases, and yet again by framing false cases, whereas Home Minister Sabita Indra Reddy is giving us a false support by saying that the cases will be removed, whereas the actual cases, the serious offences, have not been removed on us. They have kept cases like Section 307, which no student would commit. In fact, earlier also I have told, I have been kept as accused for, along with KCR and Kodandram, in attempt to murder. I don't know how far I went in attempted a murder of someone, including KCR, which is completely false. And many cases on students. There is a student which I've earlier also told in Warangal, where he has been framed with attempt to rape by Errabali Dayakar of TDP. The government has failed to stand by the Telangana students. Unfortunately, all the team ministers also have failed to react. And regarding with the Ambedkar issues also, all those ministers and MLAs who have represented from the reserved constituencies have failed to move this issue. They are concentrating on installing Ambedkar statue, Ambedkar idol in assembly, but unfortunately they are not talking about the insult which is happening day in and day out. At least now the government has to realize, though we do not have any belief on the government, it is the students who has to realize that a vote is important and we make a difference. At the end of the day, every student is a militant force. It is the students who come out onto the streets. They come out onto the streets and they fight for their rights. Students have to be united. They have to come out and ask for justice. It's not only about reservation issues. It's not only about Telangana issues. It's about their fundamental rights which have been given by the father of Indian Constitution. If Telangana is achieved, definitely students would be a leading force, because since 1969 until date, students have been in the forefront of this Telangana agitation, and definitely it is an aspiration. And the government putting false cases, definitely it is a setback for all the students who cannot afford bails. And because Telangana students and Osmania University students in tandem, they come from poor background, from rural areas, and they cannot afford bail expenditure. And the politicians have failed in bailing out them. Presently, I have been waiting for 15 days to get surrendered because I couldn't afford the bail expenditure, which earlier also hasn't been paid by any politician. It was our own parents who have bailed us out. Once again, I say that the students shouldn't believe in politicians, because politicians wouldn't ever turn up, because we are not from any political parties. The students have to realize that if you have the will, if you have the learning, if you have the zeal to do something, then get started, get going, because we are the ultimate power. The students do not have to stand by the politicians and expect anything from the politicians. Definitely students themselves can become a political power. And regarding Ambedkar issue, we still want the ministers and MLAs to speak out, because today the assembly is to begin, and unfortunately by seeing the newspapers, we haven't seen Ambedkar issue to be raised in assembly. They have been giving series of issues. One is the junior doctors issue, which Osmania University has supported for that, and of course the false cases on students, that is also a serious issue, and the deaths of farmers. But Ambedkar statue issues are not being mentioned. It is a shame to all those people who have used their reservations, who have got their classes, who are sitting in the assembly and also the parliament, are not raising this issue. It is time that they get awakened and they raise these kind of serious issues. It is the self-respect of all these people of this nation, and also the Andhra Pradesh, the state, because this insult to the father of Indian Constitution is happening in Andhra Pradesh, which cannot be accepted. And definitely, if politicians do not support us, we have to dethrone them. I have the support of all the people. I am expecting that we have all the support of people who are still helping me to bail out. And this agitation will not stop here. Telangana is the first primary agitation for us, but we have our major agitations. It is the student agitation, wherein students are being beaten up by the police and also political goons. Recently, when Chandrababu Naidu toured Warangal, they have bashed up many students, and even Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, he took a bandwagon of political rowdies and hired gundas who lashed out at students, which cannot be tolerated. Students are being underestimated, but if students would retaliate, then definitely the rebellion will be onto the streets. We will keep our books aside and we will see whom we have to face it. So as I've said earlier, the time is for a civil war, and definitely if the government doesn't stand by the people and the students and everyone, all the people will come onto the streets and the civil war will occur. And the major issue is students are not being given scholarships. Students are being deprived of their rights. Students have been demoralized, have been tranquilized, have been vandalized by many people. It is a warning to all the politicians that students have to be respected, otherwise no government will run. And it is surprising that Chandrababu Naidu has finally learned that he needs students to come back to power, which is completely fooling people, which all the students will not believe anymore. And also we have to remind Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy once again that he has promised 1 lakh jobs, giving a scheme called Rajiv Yuva Kirnalu, But he has to remember that not even a single job has been given to any unemployed youth. These are just false programs to fool the people, and also the people of Telangana. Telangana people do not want any such kind of false perks. All we want is Telangana, and definitely our own government of Telangana. When we get into self-rule, we will give our own jobs. So the agitation will continue. Once again, after I coming out of the jail, or any student leaders who are coming out of the jail, the police is trying to suppress us and all the students who are in the other districts, but the suppression will not continue. Definitely the voice will get more stronger. We are becoming more tougher by going to jails and prisons and coming out. So that is a learning research for all of us. We are not doing this to become politicians or something. It is a learning research for everyone, all the students of Osmania University who are research scholars here. This research will be applicable to real life, and definitely this will be helpful in achieving Telangana and a social India with social justice and equality to all the classes and all fraternities and all sections of the people.